What's up, guys?
What's up?
Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to show off the Forbidden Demon Hunter for Season 28. So the reason why it is going to be a forbidden build is because it actually cannot be ran for multiple reasons. One, it includes a bug. Two, it includes a timeline for this very special event that has to happen to get an item. And then on top of that, you have to have that special item in a very special season for it to be fully at its maximum potential. So let me go ahead and first off explain what the heck the build is and exactly what makes it forbidden. So essentially what it comes down to is, I'll explain the bug first. So starting right off, it is running the brand new Natalia set. So if I mouse over this Natalia set, we don't have the changes. It just still shows the Ring of Vengeance. The brand new Natalia set is actually a trap build. It can clear a GR 150. We've already done on the channel. I'll also pin it down below. We actually had a level 25 gem for the gameplay. But the new Trapper build with Natalia has a bonus on the 6-piece bonus, making it so Spike Trap deals a massive amount of extra damage, and each consecutive blast from it will deal additional damage. So that's essentially how the newer build works with Natalia's. Now, if you guys do want a build that goes over just like the normal way to play it, because the playstyle is the same as the Forbidden build, but the Forbidden build is way better, and I'll explain why. So starting right off, it includes a bug with using not only running the brand new Natalia set, but you will also equip the Shadow set. Now, it's a 2-piece bonus that gives you a 6,000% damage multiplier, which is huge. If you combo this with any build in the game, it will give you a huge amount of damage. Now, it's not really supposed to work this way. Over here, we have an official post by Filthy Rich over on the official Blizzard post over here, meaning that there is an issue where the Spike Trap and the Grenade both benefit from the 6,000% damage from the 2-piece bonus. It's not working as intended, so basically, it's showing off that this build isn't supposed to work. That's why, of course, it's going to be in a series called the Forbidden build. So that's the first step. Basically, it doesn't work. It's not supposed to work because it's not working as intended. Now, next up, it does also require a very special gem. And for the sake of it, we can go ahead and make this a build guide as well. And if you want to mess with it, hey, be my guest. But Natalia's site, you can see we have a socketed gem. Now, that socketed gem is the red soul shard. And the reason why it's so good with this build, if you've played this build, the normal version actually has a problem with resource because it drains your resource very fast. Well, how it works with the red soul shard, you can see in the second little diamond in the text, it says after gaining a level, your resource costs are removed and cooldowns on skills are reduced by 75% for 30 seconds. So on top of all the other things needing to be met, the red soul shard actually only happens during the Darkening of Tristram event. Now, it was just perfect that the PTR happened to be in the very edge of January, which means that you could have still gotten it if you were on the PTR. So the Red Soul Shard is a event that only takes place in January. It actually just ended recently on January 31st at 4 p.m. So basically, you cannot actually get this item anymore. Well, in the PTR, you can still get it via just getting the gems, but basically, you cannot get it during the season because it can't exist because the Dark Tristram, it's a special item for that season. And to make it even crazier, in terms of making it even more difficult to actually make this build work, you actually need to use the Season 28 ability to be able to get the maximum value from the Altar of Rites. So there's a talent node called Omen, and that grants you immunity to crowd controlling effects. Now, what happens when you actually use the Red Soul Shard is there's a thing where it says periodically struggle for control, unleashing a ring of fire that does some sort of amount of damage. So damage doesn't really matter too much, but what really matters is your character will actually stop moving and will be stunned, and if you get stunned in Diablo certain times, you will instantly die. So that's the reason why you would want to be completely immune to CC. Now, you can activate other abilities to get immunity to CC, but it happens at a random interval. You have no control over when it's happening, so it's really annoying also in town to have this sort of thing happen. But to make it even more challenging, the build actually has another mechanic that makes it even more difficult. So, because you need your Red Soul Shard to actually level up in order to gain the benefit, I remember there was a period of time where people would make a brand new character, right? A level 1 character, they would max it out, then equip all of their gear as quickly as possible. That way they would benefit from the stacking of the after gaining a level that would actually activate. Now, I'm not sure if that's still going to be available, but it doesn't really matter for the most part because this whole build is forbidden in the first place. But you would also need to gain a few levels depending on how high you want to push in a GR in order for this to activate. So not only have to have all these things met, but you also have to be gaining levels during the Greater Rift, which is a challenge on its own. So to explain the build really quick, it's going to be very similar to the new Natalia's build that I recently uploaded, and that one you can play. The gameplay and how it plays is exactly the same. The real difference really comes down to the amount of bonus damage you get, which is a 6,000% extra multiplier, which is huge. So to go over the build, you're running the 6-piece Natalia's, which will include the ring, because you also would like to have the Guardians. Guardians is super good just in general. You're not going to be running all guilds because you need that shoulder piece to actually run the shadow set. So 2 pieces of the shadows, you can mix and match whatever ones that you really want to go for, but for the most part, these are the ones that I went for. So the shadow boots, shadow shoulders, and then you're running the Guardian set with Royal Ring of Grandeur. For the ring, you can actually get away with doing even more damage by removing the Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac and throwing in a Convention of Elements. Like I said, I've cleared a GR 150 without Ring of the Zodiac, but it really helps out for cooldown reduction when this thing is not active, as eventually when you start doing very high GRs, you'll get to a point where you're not leveling up multiple times because you're Paragon, like, 1500 plus, and you're not getting consecutive levels on every push. So as far as it goes, I'll mouse over the stuff, but I just wanted to make this a fun and interesting video because I think it's kind of cool to see these builds that can never really exist in the game. Sometimes things get changed on the PTR, but this one in particular really had my interest because it has so many things that need to match up. Now, as far as the weapon goes, I was thinking about running Yugioh, the sword that would give you extra cooldown reduction, but actually what turned out to be the best, and there's so many people on the leaderboards doing this at the moment, is the Sunkeeper. Now, what Sunkeeper does is increases your damage against elites by up to 30%, which could be very big. So that's like the only difference between this build and like the normal build that you'd be running. But also running Nat's Ring over here, then I'm running Squirt's Necklace. Now, and another thing that's really good that makes this build very strong compared to like the other normal variant of the build that you can run, which is just Natalia's 6-piece, then you run all guilds as well as the Guardian set, is that you have insane amount of cooldown reduction because of the red soul shard. And that actually allows you to spam smokescreen. If you see over in my buff area, you'll see that my Squirt's Necklace is staying at 10. This actually gives us way more damage, although we would take more damage, but it doesn't really matter because if we are going to be basically invulnerable and invincible for the most part because we have smokescreen, we're just realistically not going to be taking any damage. So yeah, this build is way overpowered. It has insane survivability, it has insane mobility because you have extra 100% movement speed when you activate smokescreen. You can see during the whole gameplay, I'm not running out of resource at all. Nope. I can spam this forever. I'm not running out of resource. I don't really even need preparation. In fact, you can run a completely different skill. If you would like to, you can even throw in, for extra movement speed, you could throw in Shadow Power, and there's a Shadow Power rune that gives you extra movement speed. You can even run Hot Pursuit. I mean, the build does so much damage. Like I said, if you guys want to see it do a GR 150 with a level 25 gem, you guys can check that out. I'll have it pinned down below. But it was a really fun build, and hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing something a little bit more interesting that, maybe not everyone will be covering. As far as like the build goes, you can actually don't need the emerald in here, but it's a pretty generic build. I mean, it's just crit chance, crit damage, spike trap damage in the chest and in the shoulders. I'll mouse over the pieces of gear. It's no different than, again, any standard Diablo build. You'd be running lightning. Usually I try to explain how the build works, and feel free to check out the normal build because that one will explain everything in a more in-depth explanation that makes more sense because that build will more than likely be similar and not changed. This one is already confirmed that it can't run because we don't even know when season 28 will start, and well, I can assure you that it's not starting in January because we already passed January, and that's how you would get the red soul shard in the first place. But I'll mouse over it just in case any of you guys want to hop on the PTR. Have some fun with it while you can, because this build will be forbidden. It will never be able to see the light of day for all of the reasons mentioned. But if you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like on it, and if you're new here and you do want to see more Diablo content in the future, make sure you guys are subscribed with the bell notification on, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and I'm signing out. Peace.